Are you procrastinating looking for a better way to study just before the exam? Don't worry, we have you covered with no less than 5 learning tips that will help you a ton. And stay tuned for the last one, it's a game changer. Let's get right into it. Be the teacher. Studies show that students memorize and understand their material easier and in better depth when explaining the course to a fellow student, rather than simply memorizing the subject. The best way to remember your curriculum is to imagine yourself as a teacher and explain the material you need to remember for your exams to yourself or your friend, be it imaginary. This means you understand the contents fully and you would be able to explain to your friends what you've read. That also means that when you feel that you've missed some of the points, you need to resist the urge to overlook that part. Go back, start reading, and attempt to explain it once again. Note that this method is not ideal for working under pressure on last-minute studies. Flashcards. Students try to memorize formulas and other specific segments all of the time, but there are better ways. For formulas, you can create a formula book, which would work as a dictionary of sorts. Stripped out of context, clear and concise, they will be easier to identify and memorize. If you wish to memorize essential dates or funny biology names, then flashcards are handy. These methods are very effective for last-minute studies. Simply dissociate the important dates, formulas, or notes from other parts of the curriculum and test yourself with flashcards to see where you stand and what you have to read more. Question papers. Your exams are approaching and preparations must begin. As you go through the materials for the first few times and notice key segments, take a moment and create a question paper for each key noteworthy topic. Imagine creating questions for your future self on the most critical topics possible. After you've been through the subject a couple of times, pull the question papers out and attempt to answer them without help and with help after that. Make sure you ask yourself good questions and always ask yourself, what would my teacher ask me about this topic? The learning environment. A messy desk can lead to distractions and often breaks in concentration, studies show. So always keep your table clean and clutter-free to ensure you give yourself the best chances of success. A space bathed in natural light is ideal. Studies show that academic performance is greatly enhanced when performed in environments with good natural light. If that is not an option in your case, worry not. Artificial lighting also helps. Just make sure you have plenty so you don't get sleepy or, on the contrary, hyperactive. Find a balance that emulates natural light and you will do great. Finding focus and keeping your concentration up for as long as possible during study sessions is key. Stay focused. Whatever you are going to say or argue, the phone will not help you. Videos playing in the background may work for a couple of people, but studies show that they do more harm than good. On music though, science dictates that classical instrumental music is the best aid for studying, and research suggests that a good mood that music can bring generally improves your learning outcomes. A 2007 Stanford study claimed that classical music in particular can help your brain absorb and interpret new information easier. Try to find a very peaceful and quiet study environment if possible, and create your study sanctuary, with or without music. Social media, notifications, emails rarely ever help. A fun fact, more than 90% exchange notes before exams, and a good portion of them actively exchange ideas and topics about the subject on WhatsApp and such platforms while learning. If you too find this practice helpful and learn by communicating and exchanging notes with others, you might find apps that temporarily block social media handy. The last thing you need during your last-minute preparations is more distractions. Note that you set the rules on such apps as off time, moment, flipped, or freedom, so be honest with yourself and use them to have better study sessions. They help a great deal. A word of caution: don't rely too much on last-minute preparations to aid you during your exam. If you don't prepare beforehand and count on cramming as much information as you can right before the test hour, you'd be doing it wrong. Last-minute preparation is supposed to help you touch up on the stuff that you already know not absorb new information. If you find this swift and straightforward video to be helpful, do give it a like and a comment. Also, don't forget to subscribe and share with your friends. We did our best to keep the info on this video light so as not to overburden you. Best of luck in your future exams. May you ace them!